Welcome to the ESPN Esports studio. I'm Phil Murphy. Over the last month, the League of Legends world has been popping off. Around the world, players have changed teams faster than Invictus Gaming smacked Fnatic in the World Finals. We welcome in our intrepid reporter, Jacob Wolf, who's been dropping wolf bombs throughout roster shuffle season. And Jacob, this offseason really started with a bang, quite literally, as the former SK Telecom T1 AD carry moved from his home in South Korea to North America and joined 100 Thieves. How did Bang land in North America, and what does this mean for the sophomore club?
You know, it started with the dissolution of the SK Telecom T1 roster. It's something we've not seen very frequently before. Last time it happened, Bang got his starting spot, went on to become a world champion. This year, they blew it up and are rebuilding around Faker, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. And Bang was sort of left with these plentiful options. He could either go to many of the different Korean teams that were looking to rebuild their rosters and looking for new AD carries, or he could do what many of the South Korean players have done in the past and go to China. North America, for him, there weren't a ton of people looking in the AD carry market, but 100 Thieves was. They're looking to overhaul part of their roster and get better internationally in particular, because even though they had a great freshman year in North America, they did not have a good showing at the League of Legends World Championship. And I think that's what they were looking for, was international experience. And Bang brings a lot of that. He's been to Worlds more than once. He's won a championship title before. He's a great player. He's played in a good system of SK Telecom T1 that has results and has won before. So, you know, assessing it, I think it came down to him between 100 Thieves or going to China. I think in the end it worked out with 100 Thieves. I think that this opportunity kind of provides an opportunity for him not only to learn a new playing environment, but also for him to learn a new culture and to come to North America and experience the NILCS.
Bang wasn't alone, certainly. The team also swapped Ryus for Huhi, who recently gained residency status in North America. I'll keep this question simple. Was Huhi an upgrade?
Don't think he's necessarily an upgrade per se. I think that he's a very different player than Ryus. I think that Ryus has certainly fallen off in the last couple of years since first coming to Europe and then going to North America and playing for Phoenix One, where I think he was one of the better mid laners in those respective regions at the time. I think that as it stands right now, Huhi is a mid-level-ish among his competition player in the mid lane in North America. However, that residency status is a huge part of this. Having a green card makes you a resident by default. He no longer counts as a South Korean import, and by policy, they can only have 2 of those. They now have 3 players who are originally from South Korea, and Someday, Huhi, and Bang. And all 3 of them now are able to communicate fluidly with one another. It's going to create a very interesting team environment, leaving only Anda and Aframu that are not South Korean first speakers. And so overall, I think that this is a big change for 100 Thieves. I think they're betting big on all these players gelling with one another, and Aframu sort of being the leader as the shot caller of this team. And I think that it probably will play out. This change to me made a lot of sense. The Bang change only made sense if they got Huhi, and it was right there.
Let's look at a roster change outside of North America, the LEC, and it's going to take a minute for me to get used to calling it that. Very busy across the pond. One of the weirdest moves of the offseason. Caps will man G2's mid lane while Perks rotates to the AD carry role. Jacob, walk us through those moves.
This was such a quick move. I remember where I was sitting when I reported it, like getting breakfast and just like writing furiously on my phone. And to me, like it was such a change that at first didn't make a lot of sense to me. And the more I talked through it with people, it made a lot more sense. So it was less than 12 hours. It was verbally agreed upon. Less than 12 hours after the update, there were poaching allegations that came up in the post after this against G2, as well as some others from previous incidents with Rockcat and Origin and H2K. To my understanding, no formal complaint was made by Fnatic, and the other teams were told that because it was not within a 6-month previous duration, that they could not file a formal complaint.
So it is a risky change. In your estimation, for a team that made the World Semifinals last year, does it make sense? Does it improve them for next year?
Yarnin, the AD carry that was on G2 previously, is certainly the weak link, or was certainly the weak link. Wanted the support. He was good, and I think he had some moments. I definitely saw at Worlds while being there in South Korea, he definitely had some moments where he underperformed, but I think he was not the issue. I think it was very much Yarnin out on the world stage. It was very outclassed by some of these international AD carries. So I think looking at that, Perks is an inherently better player than Yarnin, but I do not think that the change overall is going to be very quick for Perks to adapt, but it is still a role change, and role changes don't always go so well. So it's a huge risky change, I think, for G2 overall, and I'm really curious if it's going to pan out. I think the jury's out. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that answer, and we'll have to see how the LEC stacks up coming in January.
A lot to look forward to, and certainly a lot of questions to be answered in 2019. Jacob, thank you so much for joining us, and for more on Jacob's reporting and analysis, visit ESPN.com/esports.